Hi everyone, thank you UX Bonfire for letting me share about the topic designing for Web 3 and how it compares to designing for Web 2. This is part 2. In part 1, I shared how to become a UX UI designer if you are just starting out, so how to get started in UX UI, so definitely check that out. If you've already seen that part 1, definitely check, you can skip this part, but I'm a freelance product designer and branding expert. I'm a founding designer for 2 Silicon Valley startups building products end-to-end with a background in marketing design for startups and global brands. And currently I'm working on a brand refresh for the leading crypto educational platform in the Netherlands. So what are the main differences between Web 2 and Web 3? For real-life examples, Spotify and LinkedIn, which a lot of people use, are Web 2, and their D-app counterparts are Audius and Braintrust. Web 2 and Web 3 are distinct because while Web 2 made the internet more interactive and social, Web 2 will make the web more distributed. Another key difference is that Web 2 is more focused on consuming and writing content, and Web 3 places more emphasis on producing it. So to go over some of the bullet points, Web 2 is centralized. So the application delivery, cloud services, and platform are governed and operated by centralized authorities such as Google and Facebook. And Google and Facebook both own a lot of other web platforms, such as Instagram is owned by Facebook. Web 3, on the other hand, is decentralized. So edge computing, peer-to-peer, and distributed consensus increasingly become the norm in Web 3. Secondly, fiat currency is used in Web 2, so payments and transactions occur with government-issued currencies such as USD or euros, whereas cryptocurrency is used in Web 3, so transactions can be funded with encrypted digital currencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. I won't go through all the bullet points, but lastly, social networks are used in Web 2. It ushered in an era of social networking, including Facebook. And in Web 3, metaverse worlds will emerge to meld physical, virtual, and augmented reality together. So we're going to look at what kind of UX challenges Web 3 platforms might face by looking at the sign-in example. So Web 1, which was in the 1900s and more static web pages, sign-in is centralized. You have a custom username and password for every different web app you use. An issue is that the user has to create and use many different usernames. So Web 2 comes in the modern age and is federated sign-in. So you can use the same sign-in for multiple applications using identity providers like Google to sign in to a third-party application such as LinkedIn. But this also means that we have to share a lot of our data with these companies. For Web 3, this what happens is you connect to your wallet or sign in with Web3 ID. But this can cause friction for new users because you need to create a wallet and manually back up your seed phrase, which is basically the password for your wallet, to gain access to a D-app. And this can be an issue because the process is unfamiliar and the user has the responsibility to manage their seed phrase, which can get a little bit complicated or at least not as convenient as Web 2. So this is just an example of a UX challenge that Web 3 might face, but I'm sure that will be solved very soon. If you're curious about UX design for Web 3, there's many ways to learn more, but I love using YouTube to learn more about different topics. And Design Web 3 is a channel that I found was really helpful, and they specifically cover Web 3 design. You can also join communities, Discord community for Web 3 UX designers, is called UX Bonfire. So definitely check them out to connect with other designers that are also passionate about designing for Web3. Lastly, if you enjoyed this presentation, feel free to reach out to me on any of these socials. I'd love to connect, and thank you so much for listening.